A 47-year-old man is charged after investigators say he was involved in the death of a man in April of 2022.
Charles Gary will be back in court February 20th to answer to concealment of a homicidal death charges. Rockford police found the body of a man who was later identified as Dennis Shaddy near the Fordham Dam, burned and in pieces in the Rock River. Investigators say Shaddy was killed in Altoona, Wisconsin, and his body was brought to Rockford. Several people have been charged in the case, including Gary, who now faces up to 5 years in prison if convicted.